This is the introduction to the wedding of Rafael and Carmen. It was in San Juan Copala. We took a truck ride from Cerro Pajaro to San Juan Copala, which took about 3 hours and was bumpy and over a twisty, windy road, which we'll see some of. They had a traditional wedding, somewhat modern wedding influenced by the European tradition. In the traditional wedding, many of the couples don't go to a church. They're surrounded by their families in the community and carry out the traditional ceremonies. This wedding, as you can see, was influenced by the European tradition. It was held in a church and the padre performed the ceremony. And you'll see elements of the traditional wedding and the more European influence throughout the video of this segment. You'll see that Carmen and many of the women are wearing a traditional huipil. It is a hand-embroidered garment done on a hand loom. As you can see, I have one on. It has detailed embroidery, or not embroidery, but weavings in the upper part and some in the stripes throughout. Different huipils are different for each of the different communities, and perhaps later in the video you'll notice that some of the huipils are short and some of them are long and some of them are more intricately embroidered or woven than the others. It's all weaving, not embroidery. And then they have the traditional listones, or ribbons, sewn into them, and ones in the back. The wedding dress that Carmen has on also has a collar of beading. She was wearing a collar of beading that has the additional ribbons on it. Those aren't part of the huipil. So you'll notice the differences between the women, and especially between the bride and the other women as far as the clothing is concerned. Also in the video you'll see the different dances. The women dance differently than the men dance, and the women dance in one group and the men dance in a different group, and usually each group watches the other group while they're dancing. So it's not traditionally done at the same time, though sometimes they're dancing side by side, but they don't interact as they dance. And then at the end of this segment you'll see the influence of the European or more modern influence as well, as they have a banda, and some of the couples are dancing together at the end of the ceremony, and the wedding cake and all the things that are not traditional Triqui influences.
Recibe este anillo como signo de mi amor y fidelidad. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Repite conmigo, Carmelita. Rafael, recibe este anillo como signo de mi amor y fidelidad. En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. Amén. Dame las alas. No, sácalas. Yo quiero pelearme con esas cosas. Me encanta pelear. Con tus manos. Repite conmigo, Rafael. Carmelita, recibe estas monedas. Son prenda del cuidado que tendré. Que no falte lo necesario en nuestro hogar. Yo las recibo, Rafael, en señal del cuidado que tendré. Que todo se aproveche en nuestro hogar. Dáselas a tu madrina, las guardo. Bien. Ahora sí, madrina, lazo. Ahora sí, lazo. Ahora sí, lazo. Lo que se lo querías poner primero y ya ni nos amarramos. El lazo, queridos hijos, es el signo de la unión de los esposos. Tiene 2 rueditas, no tiene 3. Tiene 2, porque es para un hombre y una mujer. Este es el lazo de la unión. Pónganle ese lazo. Denle un aplauso a Rafael y a Carmelita.
No sé, joder, yo me cago en té.
Acá siéntate, Ney. Acá siéntate.
他搞什么了？打你也说过吗？听你那边的。哦，单腰呢。